All right, what's up, y'all? It is Queen D here, and we are doing the Derrian Gobourne's Gym Talks, and I am here with Sandra Elsadek. Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
Hi, what's going on? What have you been up to?
Girl, a whole lot of traveling. That's for sure.
Well, that's good. So we're just going to jump right into these questions. So I'm going to be reading the questions down here, guys. That's why I'm looking down. So please take us back to the beginning. Why gymnastics, and what drew you into this sport?
So I have an older sister. She's 5 years older than me. And when I
Mm-hmm.
was younger, I wanted to be just like her. So everything that she did, I wanted to do. So she started gymnastics first, and then she'd come back, and I would be her like little rag doll. So she'd like
Mm-hmm.
throw me around, and she'd be the coach, and she would just be telling me what to do. And I loved it. I thought it was so fun. So then I started it, honestly, just to imitate her and be just like her. So really, it was my sister that got me into it.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, and so when did you know that gymnastics was going to be your sport? Like, when did you know that, like, okay, this is what I want to do?
So growing up, I didn't really do a lot of sports. I just did gymnastics, and I kind of messed around with soccer for a little bit. And then once I started to like, I was getting good at gymnastics. My parents were like, "All right, well, we need to choose one because." You're either going to really focus on one and excel in that, or you can kind of be like average in both. So
Mhm.
basically, which route do you want to go? And that's when I decided, like, all right, I'm gonna take gymnastics seriously because I was starting to move up in levels, and so that's kind of when I knew, like, all right, we gotta take it seriously.
Yeah, I definitely know that struggle. I was doing
Yeah.
gymnastics, cheer, and dance, and my mom was like, "All right,
Mhm.
gymnastics is taking up a lot of time." So I definitely know what it feels like to have to make that decision. But it seems like you made the right one, so that's
Mhm.
awesome. So we all know that gymnastics is incredibly expensive, and so how did you and your family like navigate the aspect of the sport?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty expensive. So when I I switched gyms going into going into high school. I went to Lakewood Ranch, and that's just in a different part of town than I'm from. It's a lot further of a drive than I had to go to, and it was a little bit more expensive because of how good they are, and they know uh, how to train elite gymnasts and find you, I mean, help get you to college. So I
Right.
think it was just something that my parents were willing to sacrifice because of how much I enjoyed the sport, and like I took it seriously because I knew how much it was, and I knew like it wasn't super easy for them, but like they were willing to do it because of how much like it made me happy, and how much I saw my like a future in the sport.
And that definitely paid off because you went to college on, is it full ride?
Yes.
Ball State? See, that just pays off when your parents are willing to sacrifice, and it's just amazing. Um, and so next question, why Ball State?
So I started the recruiting process kind of late when I had switched gyms because I had a major accident with my mouth actually. So I switched, and then I came to Lakewood Ranch, and they kind of whipped me into shape because I was not at the level I should be at. Being in high school, going into like the recruiting process. And so, like I said, I kind of started it a little bit late. So I was really just screaming to find like what schools have full scholarships left.
Right.
So I went on a couple visits. I went to NIU, which is Northern Illinois, and I went to Illinois State, and then I went to Ball State because that was kind of really what was left. And out of the three, I just felt like Ball State was like what felt closest to home to me. I really the campus it's really beautiful, and they have a really good communications department because David Letterman graduated from there, so it's pretty cool to have an alum like him. And I've met him before. He comes back pretty often. Um, so it just out of those three schools, that one felt like home to me. And the
Mhm.
coaches were great. They have a really, really nice facility, honestly, like a very nice gym. And that was something that I was uh, really looking for because I came from a program that had really nice equipment and good stuff where I felt safe and comfortable to do my gymnastics. So having like a nice setup and like something where I felt comfortable to like learn new skills and, just train was really important to me. And they had all of that and, just good people to be around. So that's why I chose Ball State.
That's awesome. It's always good to have a place, where it feels like home. it makes everything so much easier. Being a student athlete is not easy, so being able to have a gym where it kind of feels like home is awesome. Okay, so can you tell us about your journey from competing from Ball State in Georgia to representing Egypt in gymnastics?
Yeah, it was honestly kind of a crazy transition. It was really, really fast. One day we were in the weight room, and so I just finished my 5th year eligibility at Georgia, and I was like, "Hey Ryan, like if you find another way to get me eligibility, like let me know." Like a joke, obviously. There's nothing left for me, and he goes, "Well, do you have citizenship in another country?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, I do." And he's like, "Oh, well, like we could try that." And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my gosh," like, okay, thinking he was joking, like, he just was just saying that. And then later that night, he sends me a text and says, "If you're really serious about this, said like competing for another country, like let me know. We'll sit down and come up with a plan." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like he's serious about this."
Mm-hmm.
So then that made me think like, "Oh, I can. This is something like I might actually be able to do." It's like I mean it's always been like a dream to compete for another country just because I have that citizenship. My dad's from Egypt and my mom is from Brazil, but I just never really thought it was doable, I guess, to like kind of jump over all the obstacles and make it happen. So I reached out. Ryan has a lot of connections because he knows a lot of people, but I reached out to then I found an email on the internet. I was just looking up like Egyptian national team, and I found this email, and I'm like, I couldn't find any other email. I'm like, well, I guess I'll try it. Like, who knows if it'll work? And I
Mm-hmm.
just came up, drafted an email, and I had like my videos from like my past year of all my events, and I sent it over and I told them what my dream was and like what I would like to accomplish, and like if there's any way we can make it work. And then we had regionals, so we went to Denver, and then I still hadn't heard anything. I checked my email every day. I still hadn't heard anything. And then I after we competed, I got a messenger request, so like through Facebook, and it was the vice president of the federation. It was like, "Hi," like introduced herself and was just like, "I'd love to have a conversation with you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like they got my email. Like I don't even know who I sent the email to, but they got it. And so I had a call with them, and we just started going from there. So honestly, in total, I probably had like only 3 weeks to train for, and I don't do bars in college.
Right.
So um, I was training bars up until like November. I took a really bad fall, like a scary fall where I was like, I'm not
Yes,
getting on bars again.
you did
Yeah.
show me that video.
Oh yeah, you saw it. It
Yeah.
was a really scary fall, and I was like, it is just not worth it. Like my safety is not worth this right now. Our lineup on bars was stacked, so I was like, I'm gonna focus on my other 3 events. So yeah, I hadn't done bars in months, and I have
Mhm.
to do all around in this whole thing. So we had 3 weeks to scrap a bar routine together, basically, um, which was crazy. Thankfully, like it was on a closer setting because of the elite setting, which is a lot better because I got hurt going on all the way out. Um, so that was honestly the only thing that I was like, okay, like the only thing that really scared me, just because like crashing on bars is not fun, and then having to get up and do the same skill is terrifying. So
Right.
yeah, 3 weeks to put a bar routine together essentially and compete it. I mean, it worked in my favor. Obviously, there were some minor mistakes here and there, but like my first time competing all around in over a year, um, you know, I was happy with it. Ryan was really good at like pushing me to get to be prepared. He's very big about like being prepared and discipline and all that stuff, and he was huge in this process of getting me to where I needed to be, so that when I got there, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I haven't done this routine in like a month. Like I'm scared. So like the transition was crazy because it was so short of a time, but Ryan knew exactly what to do, and he got me where I needed to be in that short amount of time.
Yeah. So I think that making that move your 5th year to an SEC school, sorry, was really necessary for your journey now, because I mean, I can only imagine the kind of like pressure you felt to like be on, you know, the Egyptian team. And so I think that the SEC, with all that pressure, you know what it's like to, you know, compete in the SEC now. And I think that's really cool that you were able to, you know, be prepared at such a high level, and then kind of like that carried you on into, you know, your next journey in life. So I think that's really cool. Okay, let's see. You did really good with that question, because you kind of answered like 3 of the questions in
The other
one.
question, sorry. But I will say
No.
that the transition of, you have to put your foot up before each pass, like in the corner in elite.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why that tripped me up so much, because my foot would be up and then I'd start on the wrong foot and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. It took me a while to get that one. And then you can't just dance and then put your foot up. You have to like
Right.
turn. It has to be fluid. And I was like, I just want
Yeah.
to put my foot up and go. But yeah, that was
Okay.
kind of, yeah.
Okay, so how does it feel to compete for your home country, and what does it mean to you personally?
I mean, I'd say it's like a really big honor, because I don't know, it was just something like you can't really describe, but you know, having my dad with me that first week when I was in Cairo, he would come to my practices, and just seeing how like the smile on his face, because like he's here showing me his country that I've had never been to before. And you know, just it was just basically an honor. That's really all I can say. It was a really special moment competing for them, and just like the fact that this was even able to like work, because it was so quick of a turnaround from college to immediately traveling 24 hours in total. Like the traveling was insane just to get to everywhere I needed to get. But then yeah, I mean, honestly, all I can really say it was an honor to compete for Egypt, and I look forward to competing for them, you know, in the future. I really enjoyed it. They're very sweet to me, and they treated me very well.
Okay, so can you tell us about the support and the resources available to gymnasts in Egypt compared to your experiences in the United States?
I mean, honestly, they have a really good support system. They have a trainer. They live at a village. It's like the Olympic Training Center for national teams, and the girls live there. I mean, the men's team, the women's team, all so many sports live at this village, and then the gym is like 10 steps away. So it's really cool. Like they have a whole setup. You know, they get fed there. They have their trainer. They have their living. Like they're all together. We're able to meet
Mhm.
athletes from other teams. And yeah, and then the gym's right across. They have pits. They really have like a great setup. The resources are awesome. And
Yeah.
even so they have Gym Nova equipment, and we were competing on Taishan. So they recently hosted the World Cup in this really big arena, and they were able to get Taishan equipment set up in that arena. So I was able to train on Taishan equipment, so I knew like what I was like. I was able to be comfortable on that. So when I went to South Africa, I'd be on the same equipment, which is
Mhm.
huge. I don't even know like how, I mean, like, well, sometimes when we have home meets, like, we'll set up in our arena, so you kinda are in that big environment, but, to be able to have, like, 2 different sets of equipment and, like, kinda simulate what it would feel like when you're actually at the meet with a big arena, and just that was just huge. Like, I was really
Yeah.
impressed by that, and I really appreciated that, because, you know, I would go from training on AAI equipment to
Yeah.
having to adjust to Taishan equipment, which
Mhm.
honestly it was an easy adjustment, which I was surprised about, because sometimes I'm weird about, like, equipment. I'm like, "Oh, these bar," like, it's always bars, especially after not doing bars for
Oh my
months,
gosh. Bars is
and then
so
you're
hard.
like, yeah, like, when you go back from college to train at home and you're like, "Oh my gosh, these bars."
Awful. Like one time, it was my freshman year, and I went back to Lakewood, and I did a pack and I literally almost hit my feet on the high bar because the bar was so bouncy. And that was the last time I used regular JO equipment. I was like, I'm sorry, David Lord, but I cannot train here. I will literally like hurt myself. And so I liked how you touched on like kind of the transition with the equipment, because that's a serious thing. Even coming from JO to college, like I said, the equipment is so different. And for me, I know me personally, I struggled my first year trying to figure out the bars is the hardest to figure out. Like I could not do bars. I couldn't catch a release. My vault was messed up. So it's really nice that they had kind of just have you prepared, for what you would be training on. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, and there were even some days where, like, the girls on the team, because it's all hard surfaces, obviously. There were some
Mhm.
days where, like, the girls needed to be on softer surfaces just to, like, keep their body from getting, overworked on that hard equipment, and they would take me to go to the arena so I could practice on the Taishan equipment. So, like, there were a couple practices where it was just me, but that was just so that I didn't have to adjust to Gym Nova because that's what they have at the center.
Mhm.
But they're like, "Oh, okay, like, yeah, like, the girls aren't going there today, but, like, we'll take you so that you can train on that," which was huge. Like, they really went out of their way to make me feel comfortable and just, like, overall just enjoying my experience.
Mhm. I also like, how you said there was, like, the boys gymnasts and the, like, women's and, like, other teams, and I really liked how it was kinda like a community because sometimes I feel like gymnastics, like, kinda misses that because it's very individual at times, but I really like how it was like you guys kinda do everything together and it's like a community and kinda like you're not alone. Everybody's going through it. And so, I don't know, I really like that. Okay. So we are almost done, I promise. Have you faced any cultural or language barriers while representing Egypt, and how have you navigated through them?
Yeah, definitely the language barrier was there, but the girls are also really good at speaking English, so when I first got there, I was trying to, like, make conversation because I didn't know them yet, and they knew exactly, like, what I was saying, which was really, it just made you feel better just because um, I was worried that, like, I wouldn't be able to communicate with them, which is totally on me, like, I'm in their country, I should be able to speak their language, which I am working on, but for the first time, obviously, because it was such a quick thing that came up that,
Mhm,
yeah, I didn't really know much, but they were really good about that. They taught me how to, like, cheer for each other in Arabic. They taught me just on the like, we would bus to the arena, like, when we would,
mhm,
train on the Taishan equipment, and we would just be talking the whole time. They'd be teaching me, like, how to say, like, "Oh, how much is this?" or "How are you?" or, stuff like that. So, I mean, that was really it, but they were just really good about including me and, like, especially when we'd be lined up before practice and they would kinda just be going over, like, what the practice is gonna look like and what their expectations are. Um, there was always, like, a coach next to me, like, they would say something in Arabic and then he would say what he's saying in English, and I'd just be, like, looking at him and he'd be, like, just translating it for me. So, honestly, like, yeah, the language barrier was a little difficult at times, but they worked with me a lot,
mhm.
with that. So, it was yeah, I mean, that was really all that there was, I'd say.
Okay. It's really good that they're working, like, closely with you to make sure, you're as comfortable as possible, especially being so far from home and then,
Yeah.
competing for, a different team. I think that's really cool. So what are your aspirations and goals for your gymnastics career representing Egypt in the future?
Yeah, so going into this, my goal was to hit 444 and then also qualify to Worlds because that's how you kind of keep the ball rolling with this journey. And thankfully, I was able to hit 444 and qualify to Worlds. So now the next step is to go to Worlds, hit 444, and then also qualify, hopefully, to the Paris Olympics.
That's awesome. Okay, I have a question. This is like a question of my own. So, do you think the pressure was like worse than college gymnastics, or did you just like feel more prepared because you just came from such a high level of competing with so many people and like so many distractions? Like, would you say it was more nerve wracking or not really?
It was a different kind of pressure because, like, for me, I was like, if I don't do this, like, one, they just did all this for me, um I want to do this for the team,
Yeah.
because they brought me all the way here, I'm here to help the team, um,
Yeah.
and so, like, the pressure was like, yeah, like, you wanna hit, but also, like, I don't understand the scoring, like, elite scoring at all, like, Ryan's been helping me, like, with your D score and then, like, your execution and all this stuff. I don't really understand it, so I think that
Mhm.
helped a lot because I didn't know. I was just
Yeah.
going. I was like,
Mhm.
"Alright, here we go." I worked a
Yeah.
lot with, a sports psychologist through kind of FaceTime while I was there. She's amazing. She helped me a lot in the sense of like, at the end of the day, like, I can only control what my body is gonna like, my body and myself and how I'm gonna do my routines. And she told me one thing that it stuck with me a lot, and it was give your mind a job. So like every time I went up to compete, I would tell myself, give my mind a job. Because if my mind is has the job of something, every skill that I do, then I can't have these intrusive thoughts coming in like, oh, you're about to fall, or crooked, or honestly, sometimes I'll just hear like fall. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, why why is that happening? But
Right.
that she would explain to me like that's just your mind reminding you that you need to give it a job because it doesn't have a job right now, so it's allowing all these intrusive thoughts to come in. So
Right.
I wasn't as much focused on, I knew the pressure going into this meet because she was also like, well, like, just enjoy it. I'm like, well, if I don't hit, then this journey is over. She's like, okay, well, you're gonna hit, it's gonna be okay. But I mean, I knew the pressure going into it, and I was like, you know what, like, I'm just have to trust myself and have faith that like it's gonna work the way that it's gonna work. And gave my mind a job every time I went up to compete, and it really worked out in my favor, thankfully. And so yeah, that the pressure was there, but I think because I don't know the scores, it wasn't as bad. So like after I competed beam, I didn't even know what was, I was like, all right, going to floor, like what did I get? And Ryan was like, yeah, it was good, we can do better, but like that was good. um, I was like, okay, like, I don't know. It was good that I
Mhm.
ended on my highest scoring event for right now,
Mhm.
just because that like helped, that boosted me a lot at the end.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, also we kind of had a Leo malfunction with like the company sent us Leo, and it wasn't kind of what we wanted. So we actually
Yeah.
ended up competing in short sleeve Leos, which I don't know if that like subconsciously helped me because I was like, oh, it's just like a practice. Like
Mhm.
I'm pretty much just saluting for a practice. So I
Mhm.
tried to like tell myself like, okay, like you're literally in a short sleeve Leo. Like, okay, you're just showing a routine to Ryan. Okay. Like, so I tried to think about that, but and I think subconsciously probably that helped me out. But yeah, I mean, the
Mhm.
pressure, I guess I'd say, was it was there, and I knew what I needed to do, but there wasn't sense in like emphasizing like, okay, you have to hit, because like it's
Mhm.
only going to stress me out more. I'm already on the beam and I'm like shaking. I literally got off the beam and I was like, I hate that event so much. I hate it with a passion,
Mhm.
but I was just so grateful that I stayed on. I was like,
Yeah.
now I'm like, because I also haven't competed all around in over a year, because I
Mhm.
was just doing floor and vault for Georgia.
Right.
So I was like, I have to get back into the groove, and I feel like this meet was a really good experience for me just because, yeah, I haven't done all around in a while, and they're like, all right, we just compete, go through your 30-second touch and compete. It's just a lot faster pace and a lot just like go, go, go.
Right.
But it was a great experience, and like the pressure, yeah, it was there, but I was able to like figure out a way to handle it. Um, Shout out to my sports psychologist for that one because she helped me a lot.
Yeah, she's a real one. I love give your mind a job, and that's like the key to hitting 4 for 4. I know that's something that I've practiced, in my college days. I really started doing that like my junior year. I don't know if seen me at meets, but I always have a journal, and for
Yeah,
me,
did notice
yeah,
that.
I always make a plan, and when I make the plan, I work the plan. So I already know like what I want to do in my mind, so my mind isn't like you said, fall or swing on one arm. Like it's the craziest stuff. Like,
I never heard that one.
no, it's like the crazy. I'm like, why are you doing this? But I would like make a plan and work the plan. And I would have that for every apparatus that I do, and then I would go through it mentally. And so like she really gave you the key to success, and all you have to do is make the plan and work the plan. And I don't know if you journal, but I think that'd be very helpful. So you can just write down everything and see it. And so yeah, I really like that. That's a great piece of advice. And not only will it help you in gymnastics, but it'll help you in life. So, okay, this is
Yeah.
the last question. Do you have any advice for younger gymnasts who inspire to compete at the collegiate level and potentially represent their country in international gymnastics?
Um, yeah, I would say do it. that would be my advice. Like, if there's any question, like, oh, should I do it? Like, it's a lot of big process. Like, literally just do it, because that was the best experience in my life. Like, being at Georgia was the best year I've ever had. Like, I
Mhm.
enjoyed it so much, but these last 2 weeks traveling, like, I didn't think it could get any better, and I was like, "Wow, it opened my eyes, honestly, to traveling as a whole, because I've always been hesitant, because I was like, "I don't wanna be on a plane for that long." Like, girl, I was
Oh,
on a plane for, like, 23 hours in total.
um, was
Well,
it
it was 11.
straight or did it connect?
Well, we okay, it our flight from South Africa to come back to Atlanta, it stopped in Amsterdam, but when we got there, we saw that there was a Delta flight direct to Atlanta, and we tried so hard to get on that flight, because we'd rather just go 15 hours to Atlanta than go 23
Oh,
23 to get back to Atlanta. But all they had left were the premium seats. So they were like, yeah, it'll be $1,000 each for you to, like, on top of what was already, like, top of the flight that was already paid for, to upgrade to the next flight,
oh,
because
oh.
they only had premium. To pay the difference, it was $1,000 per person, so it would have been $2,000 for us to get home, like, I don't know, 12 hours earlier. So you're like, dang, that sucks. If only we even, like, we knew, like, a pilot that worked for Delta, but he couldn't even help us. We wanted to get home so bad, just because it had been such a long trip. But yeah, it was 11 hours to Amsterdam, and then we were there for 3, and then it was 9 hours to Atlanta.
Mm, Lord, what was the time difference?
It was 7 hours. That's something I had to get used to.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, having to flip and that's crazy, but it
And their
seemed like you
practices were they would do, like, 2-a-days. I
oh,
I I thankfully didn't have to go to both of the practices, but, they would do, like, I wanna say it was, like, 9 to 12 in the morning, and then they would do 6 to 10 at night. Yeah.
6 to 10. That's
That's what
late.
the one I would get to. I would go to the 6 to 10 one, because of the time difference, and I didn't need to go twice a day. My body's been through it already, so, um, thankfully, I was able to do the 6 to 10 one. But, yeah, it was, like, that one was better for me, because that was practically, like, 11 o'clock here when it
Yeah,
was 6 o'clock there. Yeah, so, yeah, that was
6 to
better, but
10,
yeah.
10 p.m.?
We got back at, like, 11. I
What?
would honestly, the first couple days, I went to bed at, like, 3:30 in the morning, just because I was so messed up with the time, because 'cause I'd come back and I was hungry.
Yeah,
So
that is crazy.
but
I've
I will
never
say they had the best food ever. Oh my
oh,
gosh,
I bet.
and the dollar is worth a lot there, so I was
Mhm.
Ubering, I was Talabat Talabat is like their Uber Eats, and it's so
Uh-huh.
fast, and it was so cheap. It was like $2 for, like, a whole, like, meal with a dessert, with a drink, with a it was amazing. I was like,
Mhm.
"I wanna stay here just just for the food." But I think someone said, "Did anyone else on the Egypt team qualify for Worlds?" Yes, 2 of us did. My
Ooh,
teammate Jana, she qualified as well. So both of us will be in Belgium together for Worlds.
that's cool. Belgium, wow. Okay, so last thing we have is rapid fire questions. And I'm just gonna ask a bunch of like random questions. Okay, so first, competing or watching gymnastics?
Competing.
Favorite show?
Right now it's Yellowstone.
Okay, what's on your playlist currently?
Mm, Okay, I'm such a today's hits girl. I know it sounds so bad, but I also really love, like, I like country music a lot. So, like, Zach
Mm,
Bryan.
mhm.
Um, yeah. So today's hits and country, I guess.
Okay, cool. Besides yourself, obviously, who is the gymnast you enjoy watching? Or who is one gymnast you enjoy watching?
Um, does it have to be famous? Like, famous
It doesn't
person?
matter, like any.
So, probably. Uh, I mean, honestly think watching Suni is fun.
Mhm. Okay, so favorite team besides Ball State or Georgia?
Like a college team?
Yes.
Oh. Mm, I don't know. I guess I'd say I know the most. I guess Auburn because I know you and my teammate just transferred there too.
Yes. Yes, she did. Okay, so favorite sport other than gymnastics?
I like watching football.
Wow, I hate watching football, and I really would love to get
Yeah.
into it. I can't. I don't understand what's going. I'm a basketball girl. I love basketball, even though I
No.
didn't basketball either. But I have so much. I don't know. Basketball is more fun. Like football, it's sometimes it's hot, it's cold, it's raining, and then I don't know what's
Yeah,
going
but if
on
you're
too much.
watching it on TV, you don't like watch like the Super Bowl. You don't
Yeah.
watch the Super.
Well, you also went to like you got to experience Georgia football. Auburn is
Yeah,
not.
that's
They kind of
true.
suck. So I'm like, it's not fun when they're not winning. So I can understand if you know. Favorite skill you wish you would have competed?
Um, Favorite skill which would have competed. I don't know. Probably a. I don't even know. Maybe like an aerial full dismount. I didn't get to compete that because they devalued it. You don't like it?
Dismount. No, I almost killed myself on that dismount. I haven't shown you that video.
No. Oh wait. Did your leg give out or something?
Yes, like it like completely missed the beam.
Oh,
And
it
I was
missed
like,
it.
I said I have to retire this event right now because
That was the reason.
yeah, but that when they like devalued that because like a lot of my teammates were doing that, we were having like the hardest time on beam trying to figure out dismounts for everyone because nobody else could do like a different dismount. It was crazy. But you like
Mhm.
that? You like that aerial full?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I just have to stare at the beam. I'm
Yeah.
afraid
And
of
you're probably
missing
good
my.
at that.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Last one. Favorite floor music.
I really liked my floor music from. It was my freshman year. It's In the Mood, but it's a trap remix. It's called In the Mood. DA.
Right. Love that.
I love that. But if anyone
Oh,
has suggestions, because I need to get a brand new floor routine, and I have no idea what music. So if anyone has suggestions, please let me know.
okay, that's all the questions. But I have one more question. So when you talk about floor music, how like what kind of floor music do they like in Egypt? Like, are they like trap, like in the say in the
Yeah,
mood,
they're.
or is it more like more elite music? You know how elite music is. It's
Mhm.
like I don't even know how to describe
Yeah,
it.
now
So
think about me. I had my college floor routine. They have beautiful
mhm.
all their floor routines tell stories, and my routine is just like la da 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 la, and I'm just like dancing, and I feel like they were all looking like, who is this
Like,
girl?
what
Why
is
is she?
doing-
Where's her story? And I'm just like, I have my floor music right now is Peppa's, like that
Mhm.
fun like party song basically, and
Yeah,
yeah, but no, their music were all like kind of like Spanishy, like
yeah,
tango. It was
yeah.
beautiful. I loved it. And all of them, some of them were like darker and would have like
Mhm,
hard beats. And that's when
mhm.
like they really hit like it was just so good to watch. I'm like, I want that. Like I want what you guys have. And I'm over here just like dancing like a fool because college is so different. Like college is so
Yeah, it's more
flashy and like
yeah,
show off, have fun, and elite is like tell me a story and like elegant. And I'm just like da
right.
da da da. I'm so sorry, guys.
So would you be opposed to like being that person to kind of like standing out and kind of making your own lane in like, with your floor or floor music, or are you, like you said, kind of just want to kind of follow the trend of like telling a story or, however.
No, I'd say I wouldn't be opposed to like standing out. I want it to be like I said, I'm gonna get a new one, but it's by my sister has choreographed all my college floor routines just because she knows how well like she knows how to choreograph for me. But I
Right.
think for this one, we have a choreographer we're gonna use just because he's done a lot of elite routines. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think honestly I would like to stand out. I think I already do honestly over there just because like I have kind of my highlights. Everyone has dark hair there, and like in the
Yeah.
team picture, everyone has their dark hair, and I have my blonde highlights, and I'm just like, hey. And also like I don't like when people would talk to me. I remember when we first got there, and I was really I was trying to find like, do they guys have like Uber Eats? So I went up and asked one of the people at a hotel that was like also running the competition. I was like, do you guys have like an Uber Eats here? And he looked at me. He's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, what? He goes, why do you speak good English? And I was like, well, that's because I'm from America. He's like, but you're competing for Egypt? I was like, yeah. But it's funny because he was just like, why do you speak good English? I'm like, well, that's because that's all I speak. but but yeah, no, I would definitely, I'm not opposed to standing out with the floor. I do want it to tell a story, but it can be like fun and energetic and, you know, maybe not like the same as everyone else's. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is all the questions that I have for you. So thank you guys for tuning in. It was really cool to hear, about your experience, with the SEC and then, trying out for the Egyptian team. I think that's really cool. I've never really, talked to somebody who's ever done that before. So it's really, really cool. And I wish you the best of luck and on your new journey. So, yeah.
Oh, you did so good. You did so good, Queen. Yes. Yes. Oh, y'all did so amazing. Thank you guys for watching. And here's Faust, obviously. But thank you guys. Sandra, I hope you have the best time in Belgium. I hope you and your teammate kill it. And, we'll be watching your journey. Diggy, you did amazing. You did so good. So good. Excellent interview. And we can't wait for the next one. Thank you guys all for watching. And any final thoughts, y'all?
No, I think I'm good.
Derrian, good luck at the WWE.
Thank you.
Oh, I want to hear about that.
Oh, well.
Okay. Well, I'll be trying out. Well, I'll be in Orlando. I'm actually flying out tomorrow because I'm going to go down there to watch the show, and then we're going to do some like acting classes. And I'm really excited, y'all. Like, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I'm very excited. And so the 19th and the 20th are tryouts, and then that's when they're going to give out the contracts. And then I'll just move in to my apartment in Orlando, and then I'll kind of just start from there, the training, the acting classes, all that kind of cool stuff. So I'm excited.
Is it all in Orlando, like the whole time?
Yeah, so that's where the training facility is. But then, like, I think they do shows like all around. Like when actually it was a really cool thing at regionals, I ran into them at the LA airport because they had I forgot what show they had, but I was like I had met this guy at one of the shows, and I was like, "Hi, do you remember me?" And he was like, "Yeah." It was really, really cool. But so they just travel all around to do the shows. But for like training, like weightlifting, the acting classes, that's all in Orlando.
Wow.
Oh,
that's so cool.
You're going to do so great. I know you are, because you were just in that, like, I look so skinny right now. Stop, okay? I think that's just the hoodie. I'm not that, yeah, please, but the shoulders, please. Yes, pride. But no, you're going to do amazing, Derrian.
Thank you.
Sandra, you're going to do amazing. You both will do amazing. And thank you so much for coming on our platform and speaking about your journeys. I was like a proud parent the entire time.
Oh, thank you.
So until then, Sandra, when's your next competition? Is it just in Antwerp?
No, I think I'm actually going to go to the Challenge Cup. It's in Paris, a week before Belgium, actually.
Okay, Paris.
Yeah, so I think that's the plan, just to get some more experience before I compete at Worlds.
We'll be watching you. We'll be watching
you. Wait. I have one more question, Sandra. I'm so sorry, but does your body not hurt? Like when I ended at nationals, when I finished that last floor routine, I was so like, my body was just not.
Really? Should have been a 10. Should have been a 10. Should have been a 10.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been like grateful that my body has been pretty good. I mean, yeah, I hurt here and there, and now that like I have a lot of upgrades to learn on bars, like I don't know how many times I threw the bar the other day, maybe like 27 times. Ryan's like, I'm giving you the shoulder rehab. I have like bands I have that I do shoulder rehab I do these things. It's just so like my shoulders are okay, but like honestly, for the most part, I take 4 ibuprofen a day, which probably isn't good because my stomach is not great.
Oh.
Do you do cupping?
Yeah, I do cupping and scraping and like cryotherapy and you know. Everything I
Cryotherapy
did
is
was
just
go.
so good.
That's good.
So good.
All right, that was the last question. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm sure like her ankles and
The
everything are just.
ankles do hurt. I will say that.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, because I know the fans want to hear about this. Can you talk about Killian anymore?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I just her gymnastics, I like it leaves you speechless. It's beautiful, and she's so cute too. Like she's just this little girl. I don't even know how old she is. I think she's like 20.
She's
I want to say.
yeah, she's young. She's young. She's a youngin.
Yeah, but even after she has her little ballerina bun, so cute. But she even after the meet, they had like a banquet after, and she was like getting in the dance circle. I was like, good for you, girl. She was having
No,
fun.
Derrian. I'm doing an interview. Sorry, I'll call her back. Derrian, she threw an Imbar Nabiva.
What is that?
So,
Oh, did she?
yes,
Yes.
it's called the Nemor now. It's her skill.
That is very unsafe, but wow.
Then she did a Derwall Fenton into an Eshova. No, this girl is insane.
So what did she do? Did she do anything out of it? Like
Imbar Nabiva, immediate pack, yeah. Van Leuven up into the high bar as Fenton. Derwall Fenton.
She put her feet in and then
in bar.
That's insane. She's wow.
Yeah, it's harder than what Suni does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like, Suni, you got to step it up, girl, because they're doing in bar stuff.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Like
15 on bars, 15-4, I think.
That's insane.
It was insane.
Her start value is a 7.1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Compete for France. Like she is from France, but then they won't let her compete. I guess I don't know really.
No, they wouldn't let her compete for Algeria, so she changed to Algeria. Finally, they released her because the Minister of Sport called in the French Federation. They're like, you have to let this girl compete. So they released her, and now she's competing for Algeria, and she made worlds.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's this whole thing. But thank you again for the interview. Derrian, you did fantastic. And tell the people where they can follow you. Sandra, you first.
Oh, where? Like social media?
Yeah, where they can follow you, where they can find you.
Yeah, on social media, on like Instagram, it's Sandra _Elsadek. Same with Twitter. I think Twitter's like Sandra.Elsadek. But yeah, that's really honestly just like Sandra dot and my last name. You'll find me anywhere.
Derrian, where can they find you?
Twitter, you can find me at Gobourne. And Instagram, I'm so embarrassed with this name, y'all. I've been trying to change it, but I can't because I'm verified and it won't let me change my name. But it's Diggy07 and there's like 5 Y's. And I'm like, why would I do that? Like,
because you wanted to stand out, girl.
It's giving childish, and it's like
you know it's your girl though.
Yeah, you know they're like, and people are like, I don't even go by Diggy anymore. My old coach, David, used to call me that because he couldn't.
Really you don't at all?
No, I mean some people are like, hey Diggy, because they see it on Instagram, but like people don't call me Diggy anymore.
She's the Empress now.
Yeah. But yeah, you can Diggy07, Diggy _07. There's like 5 Y's. Don't forget 5 Y's.
5 of them. Y'all make sure to follow these amazing gymnasts and wrestlers now. These luminaries, if you will. And we will catch y'all on the next time. Thank you so much for watching. We love you. And yeah, that's it. Bye, y'all.